All right, let's see. Do. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Rodrigo. This is my sidekick Smokey, the smoke detector. Pay no attention to this. Usually this door is closed. There's nothing back there that you need to worry about. Certainly no strange entities that might walk by. Yeah, today we're playing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and we're gonna do 100% nothing but raids. And if you guys want and are available and have your Switch handy and are at a point in the game where you can do raids, you can join the raids that we're doing.
Greetings, Rodrigo and Smokey.
Hey, Saint JW, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for the subscription. I really appreciate it. So yeah, we're playing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We're gonna do some raids. If anybody watching is interested in raiding, I put in a new command. That's !raid. It doesn't do anything except put it in the chat, to where I can see it, just so that I know if there are people here who want to do it. So, but we'll start out. Oh, I forget I haven't named my iron treads yet. I gotta do that. We'll change it to the sound it makes when it backs up. Beep. Beep. Can I fit in another beep? No, there's not enough room for that. So we'll just do beep beep ! Okay. Let's go see what randos are rating. Oh, I guess I don't have an item for this guy yet. You okay, Pavs? Okay, hang on, guys. I gotta go check on Pavlov. Hey, Rob. Here, let me give you a shout out. Recognize command. Oh. Like this? There you go. Okay, gotta go check on my dog. I'll super duper be right back. All right. Pavlov's doing okay. We just had a situation where we were out for potty times, and oh, Death of Anubis is now following. Hey, I know Death of Anubis. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Um, so yeah, Pavlov and I were out, and our neighbor has this really big, rambunctious dog, and so we're out. Pavlov's going to the bathroom, and the minute that he's done, this dog just like runs outside, clearly meant to, like, somebody had a handle on him and lost it, and he's like, the dog is just looking around wildly, not in any sort of dangerous way. It's just a big playful dog. So I was like, oh no. And I thought, I gotta pick up Pavlov because Pavlov has back problems. And so Pavlov is completely oblivious to it, right? Pavlov is a little dog. He's like a little terrier. So I pick him up, and he is so startled. Evercaptor, I know that person too. Hey, thanks for the follow. So anyway, I pick up my little dog. He has no idea anything is happening. And he lets out this yelp that makes it like, it was like a very like human sounding one. Like usually, I mean, you might have heard Pavlov yelp in this stream because he has a bad back. But usually he's like, beep, or whatever. But this time he was like, so I think he might have. It's possible that when I picked him up, all of a sudden he might have tensed up and maybe hurt his back a little bit. So anyway, eventually the owner came out and got a handle on the dog. There were two dogs. There was like one big rambunctious one and one like they have this really fat old dog who just like kind of came out and was like, and was just kind of waiting for the other one to calm down. It's good times. Death of Anubis says, Anubis is my father. Please call me Death. All right. Okay, so we're going to do some Pokemon raids. If you want to raid, we put in a little command. It's !raid. And I figure we get started just jumping in on random raids. And then after that, we can incorporate some community peeps. Skippy says, okay, since I was last here, we now have a new armored core. I shall channel my prophetic visions only for evil. That's right. They did announce armored core. That's some powerful prognostication there, Skippy. So I should point out that the rating or the functionality for getting into a raid, I was going to say, is usually really bad, but of course today it's just going to automatically work. This guy's not going to have a lot of ground type attacks, is he? Boop. This is my raiding crew. Not this guy. I don't know how this guy got in here. But everyone else. Let's go with... Oh, wait, no. Psychic is strong against poison, not weak against poison. We'll throw... I don't have anything that's strong against Psychic that's not also going to get wrecked. Oh, no, yeah, I do. We'll go with a Ghost type. Easy peasy. Alright. Evercaptor says, Armor Core 4 is so my jam. Nice. Hoping there's no dodge roll in Armor Core 6. They were like specifically saying stuff like that Armor Core is not going to have like Souls-like maneuvers. So I don't know how relevant that is. Oh, they're saying that it will have them. Oh, okay. The the worst mechanic its Armored Core is going to have is that people are going to say this is the Dark Souls of mech games. Oh, thank you, Evercaptor, for your subscription. I really appreciate it. It's good times. Oh, Rage Fist, of course. Okay, so one thing that you need to know if you're getting into random raids in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is that a very popular Pokemon YouTuber has been doing these guides, and they are very popular, and a lot of people are seeing them. So you have a huge, um, like a huge probability, regardless of what the opposing Pokemon is, that in your raid there's going to be an Azumarill, um, or a an Iron Hands, right, which is like the future robot Hariyama. Yes, battle, please. Thank you. I'd like to Rage Fist. Um, so yeah, today again, hopefully we can get into a thing where we um, can do some battles with the community. So that probably won't be as big of a thing. Um, the other thing about okay, so the reason why this guy has crunch, that's why. The reason why this keeps happening, or why this isn't always hey, Arl Ritchie, thank you for the sub. I really appreciate it. I
Here's real money instead of ad money.
Oh, thanks. I much prefer your real money and your Prime subs. If you have Prime subs, I don't discriminate. I will buy migraine medicine with those just as much. So oh, this is what happens when I don't pay attention. We're I was gonna say we're doing okay, but I think we're gonna do extra okay once I terastalize, because I've been hit a few times and Rage Fist starts doing a lot of damage. Um, so anyway, yeah. Not to. I'm not throwing shade at anybody. I'm just saying, like, uh, that YouTuber had some recommendations, and so you will see a lot of belly drum Merrills or Asumarills, and a lot of belly drum Iron Hands. Let's see. Yeah, it's hopping. Evercaptor says Dark Soul is the Armored Core of character action games. Oh, hang on. If I can get another. Oh, he's dead. We did it. We did it. Yeah, Rage Fist is a great attack. Um, it it really comes. It really like builds up, and that's the thing is like I have a Pokemon that I built up for rating. That's not the greatest. I'm kind of sad about its kind of performance, but it. Let me turn down the music just a skosh. Um, it has a Fury Cutter. Is it Fury Cutter? No, Fury Cutter's an ability. What's it called? Uh, yeah, it is Fury Cutter. Okay, I was thinking of Hyper Cutter. Yeah, so it has Fury Cutter. Fury Cutter has to hit every time. If it ever misses, it resets back to its low thing. Otherwise, it keeps going up until you get to like base like 120 or something like that power. Rage Fist is completely separate as to whether you're hitting or not, right? If you're getting hit, your Rage Fist is going up, and I believe it holds even if you um, yeah, it doesn't ever go back down. Even if your Pokemon dies, when it comes back, its Rage Fist is still up. So, interestingly, Annihilate is a very good Pokemon for raiding because of that. Whereas something like Palafin, which is a very powerful Pokemon, is not because you have no way to switch in and out of raids. So it's interesting. It's interesting design how here's a Pokemon that's very good for raids that's new. Here's a Pokemon that's very actually kind of not great for raids that's also new. Let's see. Skippy says my $2.50 is going towards a future Armor Core stream. We'll see. RL Richie says an ad came on and I was like, oh yeah, subscribe. Twitch proceeded to still give me a full minute of ads. Sorry about that. But if it makes you feel any better, I got both monies. Well, a fraction of them. Skippy says just refresh, yeah. Skippy says I watched a bunch of Dark Souls YouTubers speculate about Armor Core 6 and they have absolutely no idea how the games work or that just Souls just reused old AC ideas. It's great. That's great. Evercapture says relatively new YouTuber predictions are always totally wild. Yeah. Okay. Let's. Is anybody up? Does anybody have their Switch handy for raids? If you do, you can type in !raid while I fly to the capital to get an item for my iron treads. All right, we got some people for raids. Let me just do this real quick. And we're just gonna run around and get into my raids. Oh, Twitch is telling me that I missed a hype train, but honestly, I've never had so many people subscribe in like one hit. So even if it didn't quite become a hype train, it's like a hype caboose for me. All right, let's see. I might not have a lot of money because I just trained this guy up, and that's expensive. Let's see. Charcoal, Silk Scar, Sharp Beak, Wise Glasses, Punching Glove, Expert Belt, Focus Band, Focus Ash, Choice Band, Choice Specs. Do you have Assault Vest? Should I get an Assault Vest? Throw Spray, Destiny. Okay. So they don't have the steel specific item. So, can I afford an Assault Vest? Yeah. Let's get an Assault Vest. I don't think I gave it any status moves. Actually, I don't know if I've given it any like moves other than Steel or Iron Head. Okay. Let's save. And let me see if we can visually. Okay, so lots of raid opportunities. Let me see if we can find like the big 6-star raid. It might not. There might not be one because I tend to play pretty late. So, well, let's warm up with smaller raids anyway. Let's go here. Evercaptor, you have your 6-star up? Okay, let's do it. Start it up and put the code in the chat, and then, like, I'm worried that like other people are gonna get in and I'm not. But let's go ahead. I don't think not too many people. It's just like the three of us right now. Yeah, go ahead and hit us with that, Evercaptor. Nathan says, must lurk, but gotta say your beard is looking A++ today, Rodrigo. Yeah, it's getting a little bit out of control. Oh, thank you, Death of Anubis. Death of Anubis can put their 6-star rate up as well. I appreciate that. Thank you guys for assuring that my stream proceeds. Why do you give me the option to use an assault vest? Alright, let me go to the Poke Portal. So, I'll let you guys know, Death of Anubis and Evercaptor are part of my secret elite group of Pokemon players, by which I mean Evercaptor like invited me once, and I've just sort of kept pestering her about Pokemon ever since. Link code G9. Hey Malone. 0Q1V. So I'll also try to be like, to sort of tell you guys what's happening. Okay, so Terra Psychic. Yeah, let's go with Annihilate again. My Annihilape's named Post Game Poe. Yeah, ready to go. So so this is how a raid is structured. You go in, if you're doing it with friends, you sign up usually with a link code, or if you're just hanging out with like up to 4 of your friends, you can like do that thing where you all jump into the game together, and then the raids just automatically go to you. You don't have to like put in codes or anything. Yeah, when we're ready, we'll just jump right in. Let's see. Melon says hello. Arwich says that's cool. Evercaptor's happy to be pestered. Skippy says sounds like a good way to make friends to me. Yeah, I think it's just us 3, Evercaptor. So, this is good. We'll let, because we're pros, right? We've been doing this for like 8 days. So we'll ease people into it, and then if somebody wants to get in, they can. This is also a good opportunity if you're not very far. Well, I wouldn't say that. If you finish, like, ideally you've at least finished the game if you're gonna jump into these raids with us. But even if you haven't, as long as we have a few people that have, we can probably carry you. So if you don't have a strong enough Pokemon, try and get in. We'll see. It might work. I think it'll work. Rage Fist all day, every day. Skippy says, we just paid Rodrigo to do this, so he is in fact a professional Pokemon and Scarlet Violet Raider. That's right. That's exactly right. And I am happy to guide you through this. Okay, so if you played Pokemon Sword and Shield, these raids are similar, and in fact they're very similar. There's just a few things that are different. I would say by far the biggest difference, I just got slept. The biggest difference is that actually status moves are huge in these raids. Both the status moves that you bring in and the status moves that the enemy Pokemon has. In Dynamax raids, coming in with a status move was almost useless. If you had, for example, a Grimmsnarl with Trickster, you could usually pull off a status move before the shield went up. But after the shield went up, being able to time a status move properly between shields was very difficult. Here, you can open with a status move. You will see a lot of people running Screech, which lowers defense. Um, you will see people running, Thunder Wave and things like that. Yawn is huge. Again, Yawn is huge on both sides, right? There are a lot of Pokemon that are going to try to Yawn you, and which means you'll then, get one or two attacks before your Pokemon falls asleep. Um, and usually it sticks. Now, here's the thing. The thing that's happening now that you're seeing sort of behind the scene, or you're not might not really be paying attention to because I'm not doing it, is cheering and healing, right? Which again, Death of Anubis and Evercaptor are like pros. So they know that in order to maintain a raid, sometimes you have to cheer. And we can get into how to cheer and when to cheer as well. If you remember, in Dynamax raids, you could only cheer if your Pokemon was taken out. So, and your cheer had like a 1 in however much chance of doing something useful or not doing anything. And all you could do is cheer. That has changed. Now you can cheer at any point. Cheering allows you to either heal your Pokemon and possibly get rid of status effects. Pump up their attack ability, so their attack and special attack will go up, or pump up their defenses, so defense and special defense will go up. Tactically, there's lots of ways in which cheering can help you. A lot of like the random people that you might play with do not cheer, right? And you just saw me play. I wasn't cheering, but that's because of the value of hitting something with like so many angry ghost monkey punches. But if I was playing, if I brought in a Pokemon that was a little bit less, that had a little bit less attack value, I might cheer more. Skippy says, "Man, raids have really grown up. They've changed, definitely. These are more difficult too. So we're doing 6-star raids right now. Death of Anubis, if you want to throw in your code, I think it's still just the 3 of us. So here in the here in the chat you can see Evercaptor like calling out the heals. Evercaptor says, also, from experience, I play full cleric. Yeah. We're ready to go. We're ready to go, Ra, whenever you want. Dekjavu says, I'm down to join in, but haven't quite finished the game. That's fine. Go ahead and join in. Bring your strongest Pokemon. Go ahead and join in, and we'll see if we can carry you. And if we can't, then we'll figure something out. If you want to play, go ahead and play. If you want to raid, ! Raid. And the reason to do that is so that I see it, because then like the robot does something. So go ahead and join this raid, Dekjavu. And that'll put us to 4. So go to Terra Raid Battle. And the link code. JPT JS9. By the way, this is like, again, sort of what this is. It's great that Death of Anubis and Evercaptor came to my stream, because this is literally what we do, is we just all find raids. Oh, maybe I should bring the monkey for the mirror match. I mean, it's Terra Sidekick, so it's at a slight disadvantage, but it's going to have strong ghost type attacks, so I don't have a dark type Pokemon. No. This is the best Pokemon I have for this. Oops, that was the wrong button. This is what we do anyway. This and making just absolutely horrendous sandwiches for shiny hunting. just like the most disgusting sandwiches I've ever seen. But they work, and I spent, I don't know how long the power lasts, but the last time we made one, I went to this place because I was trying to find a shiny Cyclizard, and it was like this cliff that overlooks a city. Oh, with the shinies. Look at these guys showing off. Anyway, it was like Catcher in the Rye. Cyclizard just kept like jumping off the pier, and I was trying to catch him to see if one of them was shiny. It was a mess. Would not recommend that shiny hunting spot because I was very scared that a shiny was just gonna get past me. I didn't find a shiny at all, so maybe next time. Um, Malone says this seems quite more complex than my previous impression of Pokemon games was. Yeah, this is very much like additional content. Like you can get through this game without ever doing a raid, and that's fine. Like you don't need to do this to play this game. Um, yeah, talk about being carried. I think I think I might be the one that needs to reconsider my Pokemon choices here. It's a bad situation because I don't have. It's like, well, even then it's like ghost fighting. So if I brought in a dark type, which I don't even have, um, it could still whoop me. So if we can get to a point where I'm not dying in one hit, which isn't going to happen because my defense is what it is, we might have to reconsider this raid. I don't think we went in with our heads screwed on properly on this one, or at least I didn't. Defiant means I can't attack. Everyone, oh, because your attack would lower its ability, so it would like. Yep, we're gonna get blasted out of this one, but yep, that's okay. All right, so uh, it's like this guy's gonna have fighting type attacks. Like my bug type, my Terra bug type is actually a normal type, so before it can become a bug, it's just gonna get one shot as well. Evercover says, I'll Miraidon if you have a Futuremon. I do have a Futuremon, so we can try that. Um, yeah. Okay, let's try. Declan, you just get in here again. Don't worry about it. We'll try it again. And yeah, so whenever you're ready. Shiny Donphan is unfortunately only level 75. That's not too bad. I don't know what 6 stars are at, but it's not too far from 75. Oh, wait. It's like my Futuremon is a steel type, so it's going to be weak to fighting. I'm sitting here and I'm like, huh, no, like it sucks to be on the other side of an Annihilate. It's like, no wonder Annihilate is so good in a raid. Okay. So this is the real complication of these raids is that you need to. What are you guys? Are you guys both physical attackers? No, Miraidon's a special attacker. Okay, I'm gonna try to just go full tank. This might be a bad idea. Is Iron Moth Iron Moth is a special attacker, right? And so's Koraidon. No, Miraidon. Oh no! Yeah, nope. That's dumb of me too. I'm just sitting here making like here's I'm gonna change the title of this episode to "What Not to Do in a Raid" because I definitely just brought a Pokemon that I've set up to lower stats against a Pokemon that when you lower his stats, it gets like bigger and stronger. So this is not gonna be any help either. Okay, so as you can see, a lot more things that you have to consider when you do a 6-star uh, raid den in this game compared to the raids in Sword and Shield. Right? It's like this is a Defiant Annihilate. We have to worry about that. We have to worry about basically all three of its types. We have to worry about it being psychic. We have to worry about it being a ghost type, and we have to worry about it being, and of course, Screamtail is psychic. So of course, it's just gonna take a ton of damage from its biggest attack. uh, Want me to ask Ray for help? um, yeah, mention to Ray that we're doing this if you want. Um, but yeah, it's we might have to not do this guy just because I don't think that like I certainly don't have a Pokemon that is going to be able to take on it unless um like the thing. Oh, good. This will make me not psychic anymore, so that'll be good. We're not gonna make it anyway, but um, yeah. I don't know that I have a Pokemon. Like I might have to approach this like from a very sideways place and like bring like my Hippowdon. But I'm trying to think if I have something that hits. I think Annihilate's special defense is its strongest one, so it didn't matter. Um, yeah, Death of Anubis. I think we should just maybe skip this den. Skippy says capitalism is the difficulty spike. It kind of is. That's the main difficulty in making ready Pokemon is money. Um, you can like you can train up your Pokemon by buying these items called like the training or what is it like the it's like there's a handful of items that train up your EVs as you fight, and basically then you go and you fight a bunch of Pokemon and your EVs go up. But you're kind of having to keep track of these like invisible values in the process. It's much easier to just buy a bunch of vitamins and then give them to them. Yep. Um, Hisuian Zoroark would be the perfect mon to counter it. It's normal though. Wouldn't the fighting type stuff hit it really hard? Oh no, because it's a ghost, so it would. Yeah. Yep. Hisuian Zoroark would probably be good. Yeah, let's try something else. Let me look for raids as well. Evercapture says 3 immunities feels broken to me. I think there's a reason why Well, there's two reasons why we had never seen a normal ghost type before. Reason number one is that I guess they had like it's hard to reconcile, and they're like, what about something makes it normal and a ghost? Not that that's ever stopped Pokemon before. Um, and then the other one is, yeah, I think when you look at the stats, normal ghost it just has so many immunities. You just get so much value just from that. Okay. So we won't do anything lower than 5 star, or yeah, probably nothing lower than 5 stars. Because 4-star raids, like, it's like once we load in, okay, the difficulty jump between 4 and 5-star raids is big. Um, let's see what this is. Nope. Let's fly here and see what this water den is about. That's the other thing is raids are overall much harder to farm, or rather, these raids have not been cracked as quickly as raids were cracked in the last game. In the last game, very, very early on, people figured out, oh, right into a little mousy. People figured out exactly what they had to do to mess with those, to mess with the way that the raid worked, and they basically immediately cracked it, figured out a way to exploit it for shinies, and that was the world of Sword and Shield. I guess they're like equidistant. So let's go to this one first. Whoa. Run, 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 lizard, run. Oh. Evercaptor says, seeing an entire health bar delete is kind of funny, though. I mean, yeah. I'm hoping that no matter what, this is entertaining to people. I might have to reset my raids. I don't remember how many raids I did last night, so I might have just eaten up all the big raids. And by last night, I mean early this morning. That's the problem, is that everything resets after midnight. Four stars. There might be some 5 stars kicking around somewhere else, but I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a trick. If you don't like your raids, or if you've run out of raids and you want to do more raids, you go to your system settings, go to your system, go to date and time, and then you click forward the day, you leave everything else the same, go back into the game, and that didn't work. I don't know why that didn't work. Guys, why didn't that work? Yeah, right. Like that should have worked, right? Okay, let me. Okay, first off, what I'll do is go here, reset the date and time. Nope. Go here, save the game. Close the game. Turn that off. Date and time. Click it up by 1. Go back into the game. Oh, Death of Anubis, you never time skip. Okay. Well, if it doesn't work, there were other raids, so I'll just go look for those. I just wanted to reset my 6-star raid and see if there was something manageable there. So yeah, in Sword and Shield, it was very easy to farm raids. All you really needed was somebody to... Like, somebody who... Okay, that worked. Like, you just needed a friend who was willing to do it for you, and then you just needed to pass to them, like, whatever you got from the raid, which was usually a shiny Pokemon. Oh, it's a Steel type. Let's see what it is. 5-star Delibird. Yeah, let's get in on that. Throw it up. Let's see what this is. Ooh, 6-star Steel Magnezone. That's good. You guys want to do Magnezone first? Skippy says apparently they started banning people from the online for getting involved in hacked raids. Yeah, and a hacked raid is different than an exploited raid, right? Okay, let's do this. So we'll go here. Challenge as a group. What? Oh, I turned off the game, so I'm offline. Sorry. Nope. Online mode. What am I going to use for this? Koraidon? I'm going to bring Koraidon into this raid, so if you guys have a prehistoric Mon, you guys can throw that in. Challenge as a group. Invite friends with link code. Okay, so here comes the code. WFTFAP. Of course. We can't show that on Twitch. Come on, Pokemon. Yeah, you got this. You should also go to the Pokemon Center after this and see if you can learn Protect, or you can teach it Protect, and just like Protect every other round. Like, again, it doesn't matter. Hopefully we'll just be able to beat up whatever. I think even if we had 4 strong Mons, that Annihilate would have annihilated us. It's just such a strong Pokemon in a raid. Because its power goes up whenever it gets attacked, and also its power goes up if you try to lower its stats. So it's just like, again, raids are different, right? When you think about like competitive Pokemon, the rules are completely different, right? If a Pokemon gets knocked out in competitive Pokemon, there's almost no way to bring that Pokemon back. Here, Pokemon just come back, right? In a raid or in a competitive, that would be very difficult. Here it's 4-on-1, but that Pokemon gets like really boosted, and raids are a big slog, so you need Pokemon with like big hit point totals or just really good defenses, and like speed pretty much doesn't matter unless you very specifically have a technique that relies on speed. Yes, power off the moths. Let's open with a collision course. Ring, bing, 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 bing. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Koraidon's stats are huge. Oh, Rain Dance. How dare you? How very dare you? Let's hit it with a Drain Punch. Paralyzed. Yeah, let's collision course all the way. Let's throw a heal out. I don't know if we're gonna be able to save save Donphan. Nope. But hopefully everybody else gets some hit points. There we go. Okay. Stop. Stop paralyzing me. This is good music for this Magnezone raid. Alright, let's Terrast... Or not. This happens a lot. So, another thing that is very different from Sword and Shield raids is that these raids are buggy as all get out. Or just... I mean, I guess technically those are bugs, but really what it is they're trying very hard to appear to be in real time, which they're still kind of not. There is, I think, a real-time counter, but most of the events that matter are still going to happen in turn order. So, so yeah, it'll do things like you will select your attack, and then it won't go through because an event interrupts it, and then it'll ask you again to input your attack, which makes you lose some of that time. It's weird. There are times when you will lose a raid and it'll feel very unfair. I think we can do it. The additional wrinkle of anytime a Pokemon goes down, you lose time. So that second bar. If that second bar hits 0, you lose the raid. So the additional wrinkle of having to either keep the Donphan alive or beat him despite the deficit we're facing. Okay, we're good. We're good. We can do this. Dekshev, we just grit your teeth. Just keep the Donphan from dying one more time, and we can probably do this. No. Okay, we'll try it again. Oh, you didn't know that? That's what happened. Yeah. So it's an additional complication. Do you have do you have an objection to giving your Pokemon just a bunch of experience candy to bring it up to 100? Because that'll help. Oh, it's a sturdy Donphan? That's good. Absolute shame we didn't get Crystal Onyx. Oh, yeah. Game Freak. Skippy says, yeah, holding off on this one until they fix the game. I don't know if they're going to fix it. Sword and Shield has some issues, and they pretty much never fix those. Yeah. So Deja Vu, do you have enough XP candy to pump your guy up to 100? It's in the candy pocket. Skippy says you read it out, so voice to speech definitely showed that on Twitch. Oh man. The real difficulty junkies do care, yeah. Is it better to use rare candies at a certain level? Yeah, once you get your Pokemon to a high enough level, like around 90, I think it becomes more advantageous to use rare candies. So yeah, definitely use those last, I think. Just because the poke like the XP amounts become so large. So yeah, let me know when you got that, and then we'll try this again. Would a 100 listen if they're still doing the story? Yeah, they've changed that so that any Pokemon that you caught, so assuming this Pokemon wasn't given to you by someone else, any Pokemon that you caught at a level that you could train at the time will continue to listen to you. So if you were, if Pokemon of level 20 and below would listen to you, and you caught that like level 10 Fanfy, and then you brought it up to be a level 100 Donphan, that Pokemon will still listen to you. Yeah. It was. My friend traded it to me, but I'm in the area 0 bit. Oh. I don't know. We can try it. Just tell me if it doesn't obey you. Yeah, you should be good. Oh, if you have, yeah, because you have all the gym badges. So yeah, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah, feed that thing. Go to the Pokemon Center, see if you've unlocked or have like Protect. Teach it Protect, and just Protect every other turn. Also, yeah, the additional advantage of it being a sturdy Pokemon, that'll help too. In the meantime, spin around. Pray it doesn't loaf about. Yeah. Okay. Low 100 protect acquire. Okay, let's try this again. Here comes the raid again. Let anyone join. No, invite friends with link code. You ready for the new balance patch in Strive, Rodrigo? I have unfortunately not been playing Guilty Gear Strive as much as I would like to. Just tough to fit it into the schedule, and you might not know, but I have been having some anxiety issues, and online competitive games really trigger my anxiety. It's also why I haven't been playing Magic the Gathering on the stream, because playing Magic Arena against like randos like really makes me feel like bad. Um, so I've had to step away from it. Part of the reason why I'm excited about Street Fighter 6 is because it's supposed to have a significant amount of single player stuff, and hopefully I have some friends who will also get into it so I can play with like people I know. That doesn't trigger my anxiety. But like playing against random people online for some reason just makes me like absolutely furious, which then makes me feel bad. This is also, I think, why it's so fitting that Annihilate is basically my ace. It's like my best Pokemon, because that's a monkey that got so angry it died. So I just look at that guy and be like, okay, gotta take things in perspective. Alright, let's go, team. Let's just do collision courses down the line. Blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, I forgot the Slitherwing is a fighting type. Is it fighting bug? That'd be funny if it's like, no, it's fighting poison. It shares zero types with Volcarona. All right, so far so good. Ah, hitting my special defense like a coward. All right, I feel like not to jinx it, knock a wood, but we're doing a lot better so far. Uh, um, Skippy says it's fun to hear the changes people are going to complain about until May. Yeah, I mean, I'm still plugged into it. I'm still watching, FGC content on YouTube, so I try to keep an ear on it as much as possible. I'm gonna cheer. Oh no, that was not the cheer I meant to do. Okay, everybody's getting a bonus to their defense, which is good, I guess. It will come in handy when I get hit by this flash cannon again. Yeah, I meant to heal. Okay. Thank you for the heals. Let's do Terra Collision Course. Power up! By the power of crystals, I name you Weirdo. It's clobbering time. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out a good thing to shout for every Terra type. I haven't come up with a good there obviously is a good fighting type one out there. And it's clobbering time is pretty good, but also you would imagine Ben Grimm is probably a rock fighting type. So maybe that would be better for rock types. I don't know. Evercaptor says the adrenaline of fighting games really can mess you up. It's probably like a panic attack. It is. It's exactly I mean, it literally gives me panic attacks to do it, which is too bad. I wish I could just tell my brain, it's hey, 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 we're not in danger. But it's interesting because it's not I mean, maybe it is a fight or flight response, but I'm clearly in fight mode. I bet you in the 1,000 years that I've been podcasting and working on stuff, no one has ever heard me be really angry other than sort of indignant angry about things social justice issues and things. I don't get angry very often. I'm very calm, and I'm usually if I start feeling something I work through it. But man, there is something about playing online games with randos that just absolutely sets me off. Oh, I could have been drain punching this guy. That's okay. I think we got it. Yeah, Dawn Fan terrestrializing. Get him! Alright. Hey, we got it. So, yeah, if you don't have actually, God, a steel type Magnezone, that's just worth getting. It's probably going to have perfect stats too because it's a 6-star. Donphan has had a character arc? Yeah. Yeah, he just I don't know if your Donphan has a name, but I feel like you should just have a very common Japanese name, like Shinji or Daisuke or something, and it's he's finally gone through the point where he's he went from being a weakling to being able to withstand the onslaught of Magnezone. Did we get any? No. Okay. So those are the rewards that you get. Basically, the loop here is You do raids to get stuff to train up Pokemon to do raids, right? There's no real end game to this, other than raids also help you gain stuff for other things. Like, again, you might get Herba Mystica, which is something that can allow you to make a sandwich that then allows you to make or to run into shiny Pokemon easier. So, yeah. Let's see. Evercaptor says classic Kenshiro. Yeah. Have you heard what the rock type is cooking? That's not bad. Harvest says, howdy, Rigonal. Glad to see you stream up. I'm only sort of here amidst studying. Okay. Horsewineman says that happens to me with LARP. I don't get nervous role playing. I don't have stage fright, nothing like that. But the night after I play a LARP, I have a full blown panic attack. That's exactly me playing games like that. Like I'll feel like my palms will be like cold and sweaty. You know, throw up in my hoodie already or whatever. And then like either that night or the next day I will just like have a full-on panic attack, which is awful. Death of Anubis says, well, I can be the angry one sometimes. Just ask. Yeah, okay. Evercaptor says, it's one of my fave things. Okay, that's cute. Things like MTG and fighting games are also games where you just have to shoulder all of the blame if not living up to your own expectations. Like, you just have to carry your L and deal with your mistakes. Even if you don't blame teammates, you can't think to yourself, it wasn't all my fault. Too much internalized blame can really bleed out. I guess so, but I actually... Like, I started playing fighting games again because I got into Overwatch and then got really mad at both people that weren't being helpful to the team and also at not being helpful to the team, like at me not being helpful to the team. So I was like, I need to get back into like single player stuff. So that didn't work particularly well. Got a 5-star gradient? Yeah, let's do it. Evercopter, also just because you went right to Donphan's training, montage tournament training, Shonen Battle Arc, the fighting shoutout should be Omae wa mo shinderu, Kenshiro style. But there you go. Oh, in Espanol. Evercaptor's buying out. Bye, Evercaptor. Thank you. In Espanol. Yeah. So... una parte interesante de Pokémon Escarlata y Violeta es que supuestamente está en... la región está basada en España. Y como la región está basada en España, los lugares tienen nombres que parecen nombres españoles. Y o sea, yo no vivo en España, pero obviamente he visto algo de literatura española y también geografía española. Y los lugares de veras tienen un... Los nombres que les dieron suenan como nombres españoles y además son nombres españoles chistosos. Como Montenevera, que es... Bueno, obviamente estoy diciendo, pero Montenevera es como Mount Fridge. Y también es un lugar frío. What was it? F7. Am I at the right place? Yeah. Sorry. F7 L6YQ. Probablemente la mejor es Cascarrabia. No. It's like Cascarrafa or something like that. Change your Pokemon. It's a ground type. So let's bring... Oh. Let's bring Blastoise. This is Blastoise, my Go-Goat. So yeah, I think it's just the three of us. I think Knife took off. So anyway, what I was saying is that the Spanish, like Spanish from Spain names that they've given the towns are actually really good. Like they sound like Spanish names and they're kind of funny because they sound like Spanish stuff. It's pretty good. Harvester says fighting the urge to get to my Switch and join in. Well, I mean, if you have stuff to do, I understand it, but we're here. We're here playing. So if you get a break, go for it. Skippy says, "Oh, neat. Rodrigo speaks both languages in the same register." Yeah. Skippy says, "Do your studying, Harvestry. No fun until the work is done." Yeah, I have a tough time. Oh, thanks, Taurus. I'm gonna lay down a grassy terrain because I think it's gonna help both of us here. Yeah, this is not a sap sipper go-goat because I wanted to make him a special attacker. So this is a fancy grass pelt go-goat. That's a special attacker. So yeah. Yeah, Greedent is like when Greedent first came out, I was like, this Pokemon looks so silly. Like it looks like a Looney Tune. And I was like, I don't think I like that. But then I actually played it, and it's kind of a beast. Like it has huge hit points, huge attack. It's kind of like it really like exemplifies that normal type thing, right? Where they're just like absolute tanks. Okay, well we're doing good damage to it. It's just again, just such a tank, right? Yep. Again, because status stuff is so important. This like if you're training a Pokemon to do raids, you do not need coverage, right? Like the other Pokemon is not going to suddenly surprise you and turn out to be a different type, so you don't need coverage moves. What you need is moves that are going to keep you alive and moves that are going to affect status, right? So this, because of its ability and also because it's just generally helpful, my Go-Gut has grassy terrain. It also has Worry Seed in case the raid Pokemon's abilities or ability is a problem. Basically, Worry Seed changes the opponent's ability to Insomniac, which means you can't make it fall asleep, but also it loses whatever ability it had before. So I guess I could have maybe tried that with the Primeape, but it wasn't going to work. Primeape or Annihilape's a beast. It's like maybe I'll go back and check in our like the Poke Team's Discord and see if anybody has any thoughts about how we could have taken down the Annihilape, because it's like the Charizard raid was. I bet you the Charizard raid wasn't as hard as that Annihilape. And Donphan doing really good. Also, Deja Vu, I hope that you're like catching these Pokemon. Maybe not this one, but definitely that Magnezone. That's going to give you a great starting place Pokemon if you want to do more raids. Oh, here we go. God Greedent has the best hat. Yeah, I actually really like these hats that you get. I'm not gonna catch it. You guys definitely go ahead and catch it if you want. I just like have too many Pokemon right now. Like my boxes are already straining. Skippy says, I find a lot of my frustration in fighting games comes from my body failing me, like my reflexes and muscle memory just can't keep up with what my mind is wanting. And then I play Mahjong or MTG and my mind also fails me, so I guess it really just not meeting my own expectations. I mean, your expectations are... Like, it might be that your expectations are too high or just in a different place. Like, the fighting games that I'd been playing, right, so like Guilty Gear had Guilty Gear Strive had like that the tower. Like I never got above 6, and I was like, I'm never going to get above 6, right? I'm going to always hover between 6 and 7. Maybe one day have a really bad day and get dropped really far, and then have a decent day and go back up to 6, right? Um, I don't know. I feel like unless the board is very complicated with Magic, I'm like most of the time I can like figure out my way around it. But with Magic, you also have to contend with like the play to win aspect of it. Like there's just going to be people out there that are going to be spending money on getting the best cards, regardless on the type of Magic you're using. Um, Harvester says, I have 2 exams on campus tomorrow, one at 8 a.m., one at 3 p.m. in weather alert conditions. So after Hell Day, which will likely have indeed frozen over, I will be done for the semester. That's good. Oh, you recently bred a Belly Drum Greedon. Belly Drum Greedon is strong. I had a Belly Drum Greedon in Sword and Shield. Skip says, back to work, Harvestry. We need you to pass your exams so you can be free of worry during the stream. You got this. So it looks like I'm going to be spectator/help teams at Combo Breaker next year. Great, that's fun. Deja Vu says I catch everything. Also hope folks that make guides and such for the game can put up comprehensive guide for how moves and abilities work differently during raids. That's a good point. Abilities and moves work differently during raids, and are specifically raid bosses. There are a good few that just work differently, and I have yet to find out an analysis on those. So I'll tell you one thing that we found works differently in raids. Abilities that normally hit every Pokemon on the board don't hit every Pokemon in raids. They just hit the raid Pokemon. So you can go into a raid with Earthquake or Surf, and you won't hit your friends. So that's one thing. Skippy says, well, Rodrigo, I was demoted to floor 1 last week, so my expectations were much, much higher than that. Oh, no. Death of Anubis has a 5-star Dragonite. Let's do it. Deja Vu says, Shiny Dawn fan backstory. Friend caught it day 1 randomly and traded me. It has been my ace through the whole game. That's fantastic. That's a really cute story for that Pokemon. Yeah, super cool. Actually, that shiny Screamtail was given to me by someone too. Why am I going into my bag? All right. Seven H. Alright. Oh, it's a Dragonite. Okay, this thing is going to be a beast. It's going to hit so hard. Like... what else hits Dragon? I'm going to bring my... Does Ice resist Dragon, or is it just strong against Dragon? Because if it doesn't resist Dragon, this isn't going to do me any good, because that thing's going to hit for double damage no matter what. So I probably need something that resists Dragon. Yeah, use the Screamtail. You're right. Alright, Deja Vu, you just keep your hands in front of your face and bob and weave. Yeah, let's go. Ice sadly only resists ice. Yeah. I mean, in a different situation it might have worked because it's very bulky and because I could have done a snowstorm or whatever, but then that would have gotten in the way of using Sunny Day for Death of Anubis's Screamtail. So we'll just go double Screamtail. Oh, is your Screamtail a physical attacker or a special attacker? Sparkles! Let's open up with a Dazzling Gleam. Yeah, eat rock helmet. Special. Okay, let's hit him with some fake tears and see what happens. Maybe I should just be hitting it with attacks, but hopefully this will help a little bit. Blue, 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 blue. How dare you eat my Terra Orb? Oh, did that hit? Nice! Well, it's probably a special attacker, though, so... Oh, does Fairy completely ignore Dragon? I was like, why does it keep hitting me with extreme speed? Okay, yeah, that makes it a lot stronger. Death of Anubis says, Deja, would you heal us when our HP goes down? Yeah, that would be great. Skippy says, have they added a third Among Us character yet? They sort of have, because they made a primeval version of Among Us. But all of the primeval versions they basically don't have Pokemon names. They have like, I don't know, like caveman names. So this Pokemon that I'm playing now is a primeval Jigglypuff. It's called Screamtail. The primeval version of Among Us is called Brute Bonnet, which also kind of sounds like a 1950s like silver star of the silver screen. It's like featuring Brute Bonnet. So it doesn't continue the Among Us line. Some people really don't like the fact that these Pokemon basically don't have Pokemon names, which are usually like goofy portmanteaus of other things. I don't mind it, and in fact, when they introduced Ultra Beasts in Pokemon Sun and Moon, I was annoyed at the fact that even though these are supposed to be creatures from a different dimension, that they still had Pokemon type names like Buzzwole and I don't know, Stakataka. Yeah, let's catch this Dragonite. This is a great one to catch too, Deja Vu. I mean, I'm sure you're catching them all, but still. Skippy says, so Among Us 2.5 kinda sus. Yeah, sure. Howard says, I find stat downs up front before they shield go up are excellent and can make the behind the shield HP buffer much less. Also, yes, Fairy is immune to Dragon and a hard counter. There you go. Death of Anubis says the best primeval mon is Slitherwing. I do like Slitherwing a lot. Or a pirate. Yeah, Brood Bonnet is also a good name for a pirate. Brood Bonnet is a Golden Age pulp comic character for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I get that too. Sounds like an old-timey woman mugger and street tough. There you go. We've gotten so much meaning out of Brood Bonnet. See, it's good that it doesn't have a normal Pokemon name. No, send it to a box. I'll deal with it later. Yeah, gotta catch them all. Okay. Let me actually see if I can locate my own raids. Yeah, really huge shout outs to Evercaptor and Death of Anubis for really really smoothing out this stream by locating their own raids. That's actually been extremely helpful. Let's do this one first. Out of my way, sheepo. Oh no, I ran into some bulls. Brew Bonnet and Ma Baker were rival friends, yeah. Frenemies. Oh, hey, Lagnus, what's up? Thanks for stopping by. We're doing some Pokemon raids with the community. So, we do have room for people to get into raids. 4-star bear. Why won't you give me more raids or more raids of the flavor I want? Lagnus says I'm in the top 1% of chatter for this channel. I would have never expected. I mean, I appreciate it. Like, I appreciate you talkative people. I also, if you're lurking, that's fine. I appreciate lurkers too. But definitely, this is going to be a thing. You guys want to do a 5-star fighting slacking? It's like I feel like, what do I have for? Maybe I'll just bring a Scream Tail. Let's challenge it as a group. Well, let me change my Pokemon first because I don't want to get excited and overclick. That's not what I meant to do. Dang it. When I'm playing by myself, I do just let randoms play. Sorry. Invite friends with link code. B3FWAS. Lightning says, a bit late for me. Went to see the new Avatar earlier. That's fun. Skip says, this is my second most viewed channel. I'm a mod in the other one. Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys coming by and watching the channel and playing along and chatting. Like, I've gotten 2 checks from Twitch in the time that I've been doing this, so I appreciate the eyeballs. I appreciate the community. You guys are doing great. Hardy says, I wonder how Truant works for a raid boss. Let's see. Yeah, you'll be happy to know that AI for the NPCs is a little bit better in that you don't have just somebody like using what was it? Like rock shine or whatever over and over again. But NPCs won't terrastalize, which is, I get it. I get why they don't, but it's also kind of annoying. Fake tears. This is the first time that Donphan has been on this side of me in my screen. So that's cute. Yeah! Rock helmet. I've won. I've won game, or I've beaten raid Pokemon by having them hit me and have the rock helmet take away like their last little sliver of life. So you can't tell me it doesn't do anything. I want to have a rock helmet on this Pokemon. I think it's funny. It doesn't really seem to be. I mean, who knows? Maybe it is attacking us less, but it's supposed to get multiple attacks per turn, so maybe it's just eating some of those. Oh no, there it is. It's just, yeah. Okay. Wow. All right. There you go. It's hard to tell if there's like an actual difference in, but yeah, I feel like we've gone. a long time without getting hit super hard by like a slash or whatever. Oh, it's slacking around a lot. Let's hit it with that. Also, yeah, if you're going to get a slacking and you're not going to make it Terra normal, Terra fighting is probably your best option. Maybe dark, because it does get some dark attacks, but its strongest non-normal attacks I'm pretty sure are fighting, so. Puff power. I use the Terra goes slacking to beat the fighting team star base. Nice. Yep, that's cool. Yeah, before I really understood how like raids were gonna work and stuff, I was really excited about Pokemon having like different Terra types than the ones they have. But honestly, if you're gonna do raids, 90% of the time you want a Pokemon that is the same Terra type as as one of its original types, just because you're just gonna deal so much more damage, right? And because you don't need coverage when you go into a raid, um, it doesn't matter, right? If you're playing competitively, you can like terrastalize defensively to make it so that an enemy. Let's catch it. I know I keep saying that I have too many Pokemon, but let's just go ahead and catch it. Um, yeah, in competitive you can terrestrialize defensively, but there's kind of no point in doing it here, especially because you have to hit the opponent Pokemon like 4 times or something like that before you can terrestrialize. So because of that delay, you basically can't use terrestrializing defensively in raids. The only time you can really use it defensively is if your Pokemon is a dual type and one of them is strong against the thing and one of them is weak against the thing. Then you terrestrialize into like exclusively the strong type. Then you lose that weakness. But I don't know. It just kind of doesn't work that well. Like I'm a little bit disappointed in the way that terrestrializing works in raids, because again, it makes it. You guys see my character just get hit by a Taurus, um, because it means that sort of the great like the great set of possibilities that terrestrializing could be is severely limited just because of the structure of raids. Let's see. Death News says thanks for the heal. Yeah, you guys are doing real well with that. Skippy says killing things with Cramorant's fish shot is insanely satisfying. Yeah, agreed. I bet you that when they start allowing Pokemon back in, that all of the Sword and Shield guys that they haven't added yet. What is that? Oh, it's a Knuckle Stack. All of the Sword and Shield Pokemon like Cramorant and Centiskorch that didn't make it over will probably make it over. Oh, asado means fried, more or less. It's sort of like pan cooked. Um, so asado desert is like, yeah, the fried desert, and like the lake is called like, I forget what it is, but it's basically like pot lake, like cooking pot lake. So that's cute. New 6-star rate due to it changing after midnight. Yeah, Europeans. Oh yeah, we have more Europeans in the chat. We always have like a solid European contingent. Oh, thanks. Okay, let's do that. Rock type Umbreon. Yeah, let's gear that up. Death of Anubis. Oh, is it steel? Okay, it's steel. Okay. That's cool. The recapture says, "Okay, actually, sleep time now. Thanks for stopping by again. You guys were a great help. I really appreciate you all helping me smooth out the stream. And then also you subscribed, so it's like you came in, you helped my stream, and then on top of that you paid me. What the heck? It's like I thought labor laws were bad, but this is ridiculous." Oh, okay. I'll jump in as soon as I run away from this little chili monster. Oh, all for nada is meant to be all for nothing. That's cute. Uh, I don't know if that's. I mean, unless they've said that that's what it's meant to be. I mean, yeah, a lot of the Pokemon peeps are English speakers, obviously, so I can see that. Um, there's a lot of words in Spanish that sound like alfornada. Um, so I don't know if that's necessarily what they meant to do, but if it is, it's cute. And 6y0. Cute. And 6. Oops, I missed a 5. 6 5 y 0. Cute. Oh, you said this thing was a steel type, right? I gotta. This is really annoying. I gotta like load up my. Sorry, I hope we don't have to like cancel and restart the raid. Sorry to be taking so long, but I need to get my Poke Horse online. We do have to cancel it and restart it? Okay. That's okay. Alright. Yep, sorry about that. I know that like you get a second Koraidon in the game, and I have it. And I wish I had just waited to train that one, and that way I wouldn't have to mess with my horse, but I already have this one trained up, so Y W M B6U. Yeah, yeah. If you could just set them to be rideable, that'd be good. Right. I'm gonna change my Pokemon because I'm bringing in Koraidon. So this guy will hopefully be strong against both Dark and Steel attacks. Although expect Umbreon to have a lot of like obnoxious little tricks. I've got to see a Pokemon about a Pokehorse. Yep. Yeah, Umbreon's a little trickster. It's gonna try and pull something. Hype! Rawr! Biggity biggity blah! Yeah. Tickle. How dare you lower my attack? Yeah, when I was doing um, the post game, there's like that big tournament. Actually, when I started going up against the gym leaders, I caught a so I like leveled up a Hydreigon. Um, I guess Dry. Um, and basically I beat every gym leader except for one because I just didn't bring it into the ice gym because I figured there was no point. And I beat every competitor except for one in the that final tournament by basically doing this, like two nasty plots and then just Dragon Beam, Dragon Beam, Dragon Beam, Dragon Beam, and like nothing in the game can take like a level 65 Hydreigon with two nasty plots and Dragon Beam. Skippy says Harvestry gave up on studying. R.I.P. in peace. Yep. Harvestry says I am studying. I have you know I am goal organizing to start out. That's good. Yeah. So like I said, you'll see a lot of people. Maybe a little bit less as like more people get the game or more people get to this point. Um, but you see a lot of people playing Azumarill and a lot of people playing um, Iron Hands, and you'll see but you'll see a handful of people playing Umbreons, and I'm actually always happy to have a rando show up with an Umbreon because most of the time, not necessarily all the time, but most of the time, it's like it seems to be people who know how to play Umbreon, and they will just be an absolute pest to the raid Pokemon, like lower their stats, confuse them, like do all kinds of stuff to them. And I'm like, bless you, Umbreon player, for not playing DPS, right? I kind of want to do that too, which is like why I geared my Scream Tail to do the same thing, right? To lower stats, basically. Either lower your stats or heighten your party stats. Also, if you're sitting here and being like, how have they not beaten this Umbreon yet? Umbreon has a huge butt. Like, it just has a ton of hit points. Ooh, it knows Terra Blast. Cool. That's what that attack it's been doing is. Yeah, here I am like, I don't know if I'm going to catch this one, but I'm like, oh, Terra Steel Umbreon that already knows Terra Blast. That might be useful at some point. I mean, it's not going to be super useful for raiding, but I mean, maybe. You know that thing I said about not being able to do things defensively? You probably can if you... it's just too much of a corner case, right? Like, bringing this Umbreon into a raid where it, like, going Terra Steel halfway through is going to be useful. Oh, I'll hit a heal here. Yeah, we didn't make it. Oh, yeah, you know why. It's because the rando is a Sylveon. I bet you that cost us a lot. Let's try again with you switching mons. Okay. Yeah, I think what really cost us was that Sylveon. I bet it, like, I wasn't paying attention to it, but I bet it went down like a lot. Blah! Team Rocket's blasting off again. Harsha says, I've kept a player's iron hands alive with my Florges Poland Puff to keep the good times rolling. Yeah. Yeah, definitely playing a healer Pokemon or a status Pokemon is something that you can play in these raids, and I'm happy about that, right? You basically could not do that in Sword and Shield unless you were playing a prankster Pokemon, which really narrows down your options. Did I make it to this? Check what it was. 5-star Dark Greedent. Oh, was that Harvestry? You heard him whispering in parenthesis. Yeah, okay. So should I switch to like my Skeledirge? I'll keep it the same since Death of Anubis is switching. Um, so we'll see. No. Okay. I know. It's weak to dark. I guess I was just sort of floating it. Yep, I know. Uh, sorry. Also, your sunny day is gonna give my Iron Moth. Okay, so you brought you're bringing Iron Moth. Okay. Skippy says, "Have you found your Street Fighter 6 character, Rodrigo?" That's a good question. And I think a question that flew by earlier, and I didn't get around to checking it. Um, so pretty much with every fighting game except Guilty Gear Strive, I'll look at the characters and I'll be like, that character is awesome. That's the character I want to play. And then I end up playing a different character because the character that I thought was awesome doesn't match my style or my ability, right? Um, so right now, the character that I'm like, that character looks as awesome is Amazingly Manon, the French ballerina. Um, because so we'll see how difficult it is because she's kind of like this like semi grappler or maybe full on grappler, and I do like playing grapplers. It's like, but I guess I kind of like playing every type of thing, right? It's like I like grapplers, I like zoners, I like rush down. Um, so I guess I like most things. I like playing Shotos. So yeah, the character I'm most excited for right now is Manon. If I had a lot of the time, the character that I end up being good at is the character that I end up being good at is the character that I'm like least interested in. That means that I'm probably gonna end up being like a Guile main or something like that. Um, I'm a big fan of Blanca. I've always like anytime Blanca is in a game, that's been my main, and I've like forced it to be my main. Um, so we'll see because it really looks like they're changing Blanca's game plan, right? With being able to like throw out the Blanca chans. It's like maybe there's like multiple builds, so that would be cool. Um, you see how the health bar is like frozen where it is. Hopefully the bug here is that it's not showing us the damage as opposed to it just staying there. Oh no, it was just staying there. That's not great. Skippy says, I want to play Marissa. I really need to learn how to chuck glue. Yeah, no one plans on playing Kai off the rip. No, but that's me. That was me. I was like, I looked at Guilty Gear, Strive, and I was like, this guy, like I had seen the way that Kai played in, I'd played like a little bit of Xrd, so I was like, I know this guy's gonna be a Shoto, and usually Shotos are too basic for me. But then they gave him that dragon install, and I was like, you know what? I am down for like a pretty boy that turns into like, let's face it, a pretty monster. Like he's still a pretty boy even with the dragon install. So yeah, I was like, I think I'm gonna be a Kai main, and because Kai is the second easiest character to play in the game, I was like, I can do this, and yeah, I was totally a Kai main. Unfortunately, my anxiety issues kind of basically happened right as the second wave of characters was starting, or maybe at the end of the last one. Anyway, I really like Testament, this version of Testament. And like I like everything about Testament. I like the way they look, I like the way they fight, I like the way they talk and stuff. Like their attitude is super cool. And I was like, man, I'm gonna get good with Testament. And then I started having anxiety issues with playing online. And Guilty Gear doesn't have a lot to do for a single player. Like there just isn't that much. Um, so um, so yeah, so I was like, okay, well, if I ever either overcome this or get like a crew to play Guilty Gear with, I'll get more into Testament. But yeah, I was into Kai. I was like, I'm gonna play Kai, and I played Kai. And then like at first the Dragon install wasn't very good, but then they buffed it. So I actually in online matches got to like style on people by turning on the Dragon install, and it was fun. It's fun when you get to do this like weird little move, and actually do something with it. Um, Skippy says, I think she's a mid-range Armika. Yeah, we'll see. Blanca finally looks like they aren't a joke. Yeah, that'd be good. I think they might be going with something like Faust for Blanca. That'd be good. Yeah. Um, Definitely the whole like throwing low projectiles thing is interesting. Um, Lang says, that's my favorite Street Fighter. Finally, I understand what we were talking about. Okay, cool. Kai's never been more busted than he was before this patch. I'm not sure if he's better or worse now. Yeah, I couldn't tell ya. But I very much enjoyed playing Kai. Saint Jadoli says, well, this has been a great stream despite my utter lack of Pokemon knowledge, but it's time for me to hit the hay. Good night, all. Bye. Thanks for coming by, Saint Jadoli. Testament has a great rushdown mode you can do with them. Oh yeah. Yeah, I like, again, it's like everything about Testament is great, like their playstyle and everything, and like their commands are mostly like quarter circles. And I'm like, I can do quarter circles, right? And when I'm like, it's like to play Potemkin, you have to like to play Potemkin properly, you have to know how to Kara cancel. And if like that means nothing to you, yeah. It's like this weird thing that you have to be able to do that's like not in the game. It's like this kind of like weird exploity thing that they put in there on purpose. But like the only way to get in close to grapple once you're fighting like powerful and like good enough other players is to do this thing called Kara canceling. And I can't do it. So I'm like, well, I can't play Potemkin except as like I can play like the weak version of Potemkin, which is like hitting with like high damaging things from like a slightly longer distance than most characters can reach. But Potemkin's real strength is in the grapples. So if I can't grapple, then that's no good, right? Except for the odd like catching an enemy in the air and like smashing them. So yeah. So I'm hoping that Manon seems to have tools to bring up enemies in close. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to play like a lean, quick grappler. That looks fun. Lagnus is like, woo, I'm still following the conversation. Yeah, hey, Lagnus, bring up Street Fighter anytime you want. Um, Tickle really cut into my damage. Yeah, Tickle sucks. Is there a way to remove stat changes in raids? Yes. Die. Um, the other thing is that the enemy Pokemon, when the enemy Pokemon removes like positive status effects, I believe that it also removes negative status effects. Like it just removes all like pluses or minuses that you have. Oh, and haze. Harv, that's a good point, Harv. Haze works. White smoke. If you have somebody else with white smoke, have them hit you. Am I thinking of the right move? Is it white smoke? Skippy says car canceling is definitely something that gets a bit easier with hitbox. Yeah, but it's definitely not easy. We're older than 19, so the cancels are going to be something you need to use a macro for. Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. Is like, I'm, I am way too old for fighting games, right? I'm like, I don't have the twitch reflexes. I know that I'm gonna have to. Let's do this 5-star Dark Gradient, Death of Anubis, if you're still up for it. Okay, I'm gonna try using my bug type guy. He's probably gonna crumble, but I'm very excited, and it sucks because he's not very durable. But I made this Zangoose to be Terra Bug, so we'll see how this plays. Raid bosses do not remove your stat downs, unfortunately. Okay, so Harvester says that they tested it. Okay. Skippy says I have too much carpal tunnel for my hitbox, but I still try anyway. Yeah, I know that the hitbox is supposed to make things easier, but man, it's just like I never played as much. Like I never played as many arcade games as I wanted as a kid. Like arcades were always this thing, and I wanted to go and I wanted to play, and I just, I didn't have the money. Like my parents didn't see it as a worthwhile thing. Like they'd give me some money sometimes to play. So when I was able to get my arcade stick, I was like, finally I can play with the stick and the buttons. So it's like, it's not great. It's not the same thing, but yeah, when the hitboxes started coming out and pros were like, yeah, these are good, and kind of mid-level like people were like, this is really helping me like level up my game. I was like, yeah, I still want to, like, I want to play with the stick and the buttons. I don't want to do a hitbox, but if I ever get into it again, if I ever manage to like center my chi in such a way that I'm not constantly feeling like Garbaggio when I'm playing people online, maybe I'll get a hitbox eventually. Skippy says, have you tried out any platform fighters other than Smash? There are some good options and they're tiny bit more forgiving in the inputs. I have not. I actually have not played Brawlhalla or WB or Nickelodeon All Stars or the WB one. I forget what it's called. Multiversus. So, yeah, see how much damage Fury Cutter starts to do? So I haven't played any of those. Like, I kind of don't like platform fighters that much. I like Smash because it's Smash, right? And I was there when the old magic was first spoken. But man, I'm bad at it. I'm like fundamentally just so bad at Smash. So other platform fighters don't interest me because they don't, it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, a game where I can play Garnet from Steven Universe sounds rad, but like I have enough of a sort of trepidation to be like, oh, this is a platform fighter. I'm going to be very bad at this. So no, I haven't played any of the other ones. Not that I would be against it, but again, new games are coming out all the time, so I kind of have to pick. I'm like, I want to play Pokemon. I want to play like, it's like Midnight Suns just came out, which is like that weird strategy turn-based Marvel Comics game. And like some of my friends are playing it, and I'm like, yeah, I want to play that next. But right now, I'm too busy playing Pokemon. Right? I'm playing Pokemon like it's my job. Lagna says, I remember seeing my first fatality in MK on the arcade screen. Yeah, totally. Totally, yeah. Sealed my fate. Skippy says, I think having a Discord server or some real life friends take out the stress. Yeah. I meet up with friends and it really cuts down on the rage. Yeah. The problem with that is that then I have to deal with the stress of meeting new people. Because the friends that I have right now aren't playing those games or aren't playing necessarily the games I want. I have a friend who likes fighting games, but he always gets into like the game that I'm not playing. Like I got into Mortal Kombat 11 and I'm like, "Hey, you're going to play Mortal Kombat 11?" They're like, "No, I'm going to play like Dragon Ball Fighter." And I'm like, "Okay, I don't want to play Dragon Ball Fighter, so that's that. We're not going to get to play together." So, yeah, it's tough to go to a place and be like, "Hey, anybody want to play online?" Because I don't know, it's just tough. It's hard for me to put myself out there like that. Instead, what I'll do is I'll build my own community, and then people will let me win because they like me. No, I'm just kidding. Don't let me win. That's bad. Um, Skippy says Rivals of Ether is a good completed game, and there's a new one called Rushdown Revolt that is free and adds in Guilty Gear style bursts to the mix. That's cool. Yeah, Guardians of Ether looks really good. I've always looked at that game and be like, this looks like it looks really good. It looks fun, but never picked it up. Legna says, well, I shall slip into sleep. Good night. Desavanu says, I'm sorry, I'm not into fit-in games. Yeah. Oh, fighting games. Yeah, don't worry about it. Like, lots of people show up to the stream and they don't know anything about Pokemon, and I just sit here and talk about Pokemon, and they're like, okay, yeah, whatever. So, it's cool. Deja Vu says, I used to play a lot of Blaze Blue. I really suck at that game. Yeah. I've never played it, but it looks really good. Hang on a second. Okay. Before we go on to maybe more fightering, Death of Anu says, "Oh, I'm not into fighting games. Was more cause we're in the same gaming server." Oh, yeah, yeah. There you go. Right. It's like here's somebody that I hang out with on Discord. They're not into fighting games. Um. So yeah. Before we get into more raids. I wanted to talk to you guys about something that, when I realized it, kind of hit me like a truck about this game. So, months ago, we talked about colonialism in Pokemon games, right? We're talking about colonialism in Sword and Shield specifically, and how if you make this weird version of England, right, of the United Kingdom, you are sort of carrying through these colonialist ideas and themes, right? And how most of what they were doing seemed unintentional. And because it was unintentional, it was kind of bad, right? So big asterisk on the unintentionality of it. We might come back to that later. So this game started to do previews, and I started to see the starters, and I was like, Fuecoco looks like a chili pepper, but chili peppers are like American. I don't know that there are European chili peppers. And then as the other further evolutions were leaked, I just kind of rolled my eyes because I was like, oh, Fuecoco grows a sombrero, and then I hear people saying that Skeledirge is supposed to have like a Dia de Muertos theme, and I was like, does Game Freak just not know the difference between Mexico and Spain? Right? I mean, there are wide brim hats in Spain, but what Fuecoco has is very much clearly meant to be a Mexican sombrero. And then I saw like the ones for Quaxley, and I was like, oh, Quaquaval is like Carnival. That's Brazilian primarily, and Spain has some like analogous stuff. But I was like, do they just not know what countries are? And so I was quietly disappointed, but I didn't say anything. And then a little bit ago, I watched a YouTube video where they spelled it out for me. It's not like I watched a YouTube video and it made it click. I mean, it did because it told me what it was. But it like blew my mind because starters for the last few generations usually have a theme that they all have, right? So the XY starters are like a fighter, a wizard, and a rogue, right? The starters for the last game are like a spy, a drummer, and a soccer player based on basically UK pop culture, right? So a drummer for the British invasion, a spy for James Bond, a soccer player because people love soccer, and I think English people invented soccer. So I watched this video and they were like, the theme for the starters is colonialism. And I'm like, what? What? And it is. The theme for the starters is colonialism because you're looking at the, like, I was really stuck with Spain, but you're looking at the whole Iberian Peninsula, so Spain and Portugal. And so Fuecoco, like Final Evolution Skeledirge, is oops. I'm trying to click with it on it with my mouse and the thing. So Skeledirge is supposed to be a Dia de Muertos thing. Quaquaval is supposed to be a Carnival thing from Brazil. And what's his name? Miascarada, I believe, is supposed to be La Mascarada from Costa Rica. So Costa Rica has a holiday that is called Mascarada, and there are holidays called Mascarada in like lots of Spain and in other Latin American countries, but the most famous one is Costa Rica's. All of these holidays are like syncretized holidays. They are all sort of this like in between negotiation of Spanish Catholicism and indigenous holidays and practices, right? Dia de Muertos is is a compromise that is like, okay, well, you can't worship your pagan deities or whatever anymore, but we'll give you this holiday about your ancestors because that can be a thing, right? Same thing with Carnival. Carnival is like set up around Lent, I think, and Mascarada as well. It's like this combination of Catholic stuff, Spanish Catholic stuff, and local indigenous like autochthonic aspects of the indigenous population. So it just like blew my mind, right? And I'm like, was this on purpose? Is there something subversive about this? Like, is this true? If it was, right, if it is on purpose and it's subversive, it's just such a mind f because you have to engage with it, right? So it's like, here's your game about Spain. You can't play this game without picking up a starter, right? Like, that's something that the game makes you do, obviously. You can bench it immediately, but no matter what, you have this little guy that's like reminding you of like Spain's colonial past. It's weird. It's hardcore. Now, my guess is that it's not meant to be subversive. That it is in fact supposed to be a good thing about Spain, right? They're like, hey, let's make the starters evoke the places that have been influenced by Spain's wonderful culture. Which it might be something that someone who's not from either Spain or Latin America might say. Honestly, people in Spain and Latin America might say it too. I've talked about this before. There are lots of people who are like, rah, rah, it's a good thing that Spain came by and kicked over all the temples, right? And put churches on top of them. So my guess is that it's not meant to be subversive. But of course, there's a subversive reading of it, right? So I'm really enjoying that. It really blew my mind. And it's made me really like this starter generation. This idea that, like, the starters are... Yeah, the starters are like reminders of Spain's colonial antics. Things are like freaking out here for me. So yeah, I was just like really, it really blew my mind, and I feel bad that I didn't catch this, right? I really thought that Game Freak was just like, okay, well, let's just do like, especially like what's his name, Crocalor Sombrero. It's like you see people like mixing up Spanish, Mexican, Brazilian, and other Latin American stuff together, right? You'll be like, oh, this is a dancer from Mexico, and it'll have like basically a flat brim Spanish hat with like little tassels hanging from it, but also like flippity furry sleeves, like some carnival stuff. And it's like where's that supposed to be from? Game or whatever. So yeah, I was just like really impacted by it. Yeah, colonialism in Pokemon Part 2. Let's see what people are saying. Let's see. Some fighting game stuff. Let's talk about this topic first, and then we'll go back. I used to watch a lot of British panel shows, Skippy the Wonder Chicken. It's kind of annoying how much Europe uses the existence of Mexico as a punchline to things. Yeah, look up the Great British Bake Off's like Mexico Week thing. It is appalling. It's just like so obnoxious. Harvest says, "Oh, I was so glad that Quaxley did not turn out to be a conquistaduck like we had been speculating." Yeah, I was worried about that. This is like the better way to do that. This is like a subtle way to do that, right? Skippy says, yeah, it's definitely just colonialism, yeah. Harvest says, Mascarada's design also strikes me as a Yu-Gi-Oh villain too, just on the side of this convo. Okay. Some people have floated that that maybe Mascarada is based on Mardi Gras, which, you know, Louisiana was owned by Spain for a while, but usually when we think of Mardi Gras, we think of French stuff. So, I don't know. Archie says, if it was on purpose, that kind of rules, but it's also wild that the last region was based on England and they barely had subtext about colonialism. Oh, yeah, the big asterisk about that. They kind of, like, Swordward and Shieldbird are like, I think can be seen as representing royals and the fans of royals, and then basically being idiots, right? So I have this thing that, like, are there subversive elements in Game Freak? Are there people that are, like, aware of this stuff and trying to put stuff in that, like, sort of drives this, like, little wedge into things? I would love to think that that's true, but it's also possible that it's just, you know, coincidence or whatever. Harvest is like that they had gotten the courage up to do it after tackling England and the UK. Yeah, it's possible too that maybe people came back to them and was like, "Hey, this felt weird," so maybe they decided to do it. But honestly, I do still think that it's all sort of accidental. Skippy says there's some side references to Spain owning Florida with the gator, Zorro the Masked Vigilant Cat, and Trinidad's version of Carnival as well. Okay, yeah, good point. Death of Anubis says, missed like 2 minutes of all you said thanks to the ads. No! I'm sorry about that, Death of Anubis. The VOD is gonna go up, and I'm definitely gonna put this up on YouTube later because I've been wanting to talk about it. Um, so we'll see. Hopefully we can get that together for people to see. Skippy says this is a game series that really doesn't have subtext. It's just text with with GF. Baggy pants representing POCs and thugs walking around New York. Got two whole Pokemon. Yeah, you're right. It's a lot to imagine that this is happening purposefully on Game Freak. Death of Anu says, "Don't worry too much. Just interesting to listen to." Okay, it'll come out eventually. So, what are we at? 2 hours and 18 minutes. So before 2 hours and 18 minutes, if you want to go look at the VOD, it'll be there. Skippy says making a trash Pokemon for the American zone was completely lacking subtlety. Yeah, it's like, are they doing that stuff on purpose? I don't know. I mean, obviously something like Braviary, right? Braviary came out for that generation, and is like Braviary is very obviously supposed to be a bald eagle, right? So it's like obviously they're thinking about this stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Okay. Let's do a few more raids. Hardest says, I mean, sure, but it's a running theme with each region to have a poison type that represents the Arrow region's waste problems. Is it? I never thought about that. Wait, is that what like is like Vroom and Revavroom supposed to be like Spain has a lot of like car like exhaust pollution? Is that what they're saying? 5-star Mimikyu. Yeah, let's do it. Oh, who's down here? Oh, it's a cat. Hey, cat. You want to see the people? I know you don't. I know you don't want to come up here. Yep, you're squirming. You're squirming and getting your claws out. But these people paid good money to see you. See? He's a little kitty. It's a little kitty cat. Look over here. Look over here. Turn. This is your good side. Okay. I'm sorry. I'll never do this to you again. Except next stream. Up. Okay. Sorry about that. Cat interlude. Boop. Let's go to the Poke Portal. Do we still have Deck Javu on deck? If you're just joining, we are doing some community raids. Here, Death of Anubis is being very nice and helping me host them. Not oh, why did I pick random? I'm so bad at this. Now I'm going to have to cancel, and I don't know if it's going to let me go on raids. It maybe just won't let me go on random raids. If I like time myself out of going on raids on my own stream, I'm going to be so upset. EDD 3 PE. Okay, all right. Grass Mimikyu. Yeah, let's go with... It's going to have some ghost type moves. Yeah, we can go with... Let's try Zangoose again. Yeah, Lily's actually a really good cat. Like, she really is. Like, she doesn't make a lot of noise. Okay, well, actually, she does make a lot of noise. But the only thing about her that's bad is that she sleeps all day, and then she's active at night. And so we're trying to sleep, and she'll come over and be like, meow, meow, let's hang out. And it's bad because I'm tired. That's about the only real problem that we have with her. Other than that, she's actually a really sweet cat. And only ever stalks Pavlov to pounce on him very rarely. And we usually stop it because because Pavlov has back problems and a cat attacking him would probably be really bad. Harvester says, oh wait, hang on. Skippy says we walked around New York for a week. There was so much trash and all the thugs had baggy pants. Make Pokemon about that, team. Oy. Harvey says grammar was the toxic waste issues of Japan. I think Gulpin are something too, though it's hard to say. Interesting. Wow. Is that something that's like out, or is that like a theory? Like, is that something that Game Freak has ever actually copped to, or is that just like fan theories? X and Y also had Skrelp and Dragalge for their waist issues. There was Corsola and Sun and Moon. Interesting. Yeah, Pav is a trooper, yeah. Harvey says, so maybe it's expanded more to like environmental problems caused by people. Okay. I mean, there is a Cursola, like Curse Ola in Sword and Shield, right? It's like this coral creature that has died is like bleached coral. It's like maybe if they ever made an Australian one, they should have saved it for that, because I know the barrier reef is undergoing some problems, but there's like bad stuff happening to coral everywhere. It's so weird. But that's interesting, right? People talk about like people are always like, artists, like they're trying to make art political, and art is always political, right? It's like by either doing this on purpose or not doing this on purpose, Game Freak is being political, right? They are making a political statement, like a commentary about a particular country, because they've done this like one-to-one country thing. I think that they shouldn't. Like, I think that for the longevity of their own projects, also, they should just stop doing that and just be like, okay, well, like, I mean, I guess they've done stuff like Alola, where like they've already done the United States, but Alola is like specifically meant to be like Hawaii and maybe some other Polynesian islands. So I guess they can do that. It would be, it would be fun to see them do other places, because the United States is huge, Europe is huge, Asia is huge. So if they just did like a chunk of a particular country, that would be good too. I don't want to catch it. Death of Anubis says, heal yourself. The burn is lowering your attack. Please, oh please. Please pay attention to what you're doing. Rodrigo, why? Why are you doing this? Why are you like this? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Death of Anubis. I wasn't paying close enough attention. I should have healed myself. Skippy says, I think it's probably a theory, and adding subtext to what is probably something as simple as, we ask about what's poisoning the environment and make a Pokemon about it, rather than we're criticizing these things intentionally and specifically to our 12-year-old audience. Yeah. Game Freak historically makes no criticisms and just makes Pokemon out of broad stereotypes. Yeah. This is also how I feel about Capcom. Like, I was talking to some people online about, is her name Marissa? What's the name of like the big wrestler lady that they've just introduced? And I was like, oh, this lady is Italian. Oh, I went the wrong way. They're like, oh, this lady is Italian, so she has Roman stuff, because that's all that Capcom could think about in Italy was like the Romans. But also, as I found out from people like looking at the stuff she's around, most of the stuff that she has is Greek. Like her follower guys are like Greek soldiers. You know, they're not Roman soldiers. They're Greek. And it's like a lot of the stuff around her is Greek. And it's like, yeah, that's Capcom like not even doing a single ounce of research, right? Just being like, what's cool about this country that we as people who don't live in that country know about? Oh, let's do that. You know, just terrible. Oh, it's good you were healed by Dekja. Yeah, Dekja's on top of it. You're on top of it. I'm just sitting here creating content, fighting with a cat. I'm glad that you guys are on top of things. Um, Skip says when you apply Death of the Author to Game Freak, you can find a ton of subtext, but I don't think most of it is intentional. Game Freak is here to make money and rely heavily on stereotype, and they historically just make things as they come up. None of the mimes ever released in the French game. That's what they put the. That's where they put the luchador. That's a good point. Wow, that's really a fantastic point. Yeah, people are like, oh man, it would be great if like it would be great is like if Game Freak did like if one of the regions was Mexico, and I'm always like, it's probably good that they haven't. As a Mexican, I'm glad that Game Freak hasn't gotten to Mexico. And especially now, I hope that the next region isn't Mexico, right? Because then people like I just don't want to deal with people being like, "Oh, the next region is Mexico. How's that different from Spain?" And I'll just implode. Ooh, 5-star fairy sushi. 5-star Slow King. Let's do yours first. Let's do Slow King and then we'll do sushi. By the way, guys, if anybody's joining us and they want to join in on these raids, we definitely have one spot open right now. Um, and if more people want to get into it, we can cycle through. But go ahead and do exclamation point raid, and that'll tell me that you want to raid. Death of Anubis says also since Game Freak has so much fun with European countries, I fear that they're gonna do mine next. Oh yeah, you're from Germany, right? That's gonna be rough for you. I'm sorry. Let's see. E387FD. Yep, Germany. Yeah, living in the U.S., it's always interesting to see what gets through. Skippy says Klefki would be a great Pokemon for America, where it's heavily card dependent, but they put that in France. Yeah. Oh, Ghosty Slow King. I think this will be a good one for post game Po. Yeah, well, and you're right. They put the car Pokemon in Spain, right? They put like the engine Pokemon in Spain. So who knows? Yeah, we should probably come up with like the terrible Pokemon that they'll try to come up with for Germany. It's like what's the most base level thing that people know about Germany, and it's like Lederhosen, right? Those like shorts with the suspenders, maybe. Beer, yeah, beer's a good point. Yeah, sausage, maybe, right? Like lots of sausage type stuff. That's what Americans know about Germany because there are a lot of German Americans, and the number one way in which like the only real holiday that German Americans have managed to keep alive from Germany is Oktoberfest. So, what do you do at Oktoberfest? At least in the US, you go and you drink beer and you eat sausage, I guess. Yeah, white sausage. Yeah, same hat. There you go. Pew 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 pew. So yeah, maybe it's like good cars. That'd be funny if there was like a yeah the the German like Reva Room um, local variant is not a poison type because German cars are good. I don't know. Yeah, so here's a glitch that happens a lot. Uh, you get to see sort of how the terrestrialization animation is staged, right? You can see that this is like another place. It's weird. Oh, that sounds like the door. I've got a maintenance person coming. I gotta go check real quick. So you guys beat up this guy, and I'll be right back. Okay, so that was the maintenance person, but it was like they were knocking at the neighbor's house. So that was weird. Don't catch this guy. A bug type car Pokemon? Yeah, that's a good idea. It has like steel bug. That would be that would be a good idea. Wagonfly, nice. Adidas Pokemon. We need a sport that definitely isn't played in Germany, so cricket. Smart. Yep. That's like Germany is where they introduce like a cycle of like African mask Pokemon, right? It's like why? Because this is where we felt like doing it. It's like here with the like those legendary like the four legendary like very Chinese inspired Pokemon for some reason are in Spain. So okay, let's do fairy sushi. I can actually try out my treads. Oh, he's no. I think you'll be okay. Death of Anubis says, how many Germans do you need to change a light bulb? Oh no. How many? Skip says, oh, we get a Kabuki Pokemon for Germany too and a pizza Pokemon. Yeah, for all the wrong reasons. Nice. Uh, how many Germans do you need to change a light bulb? Only one. We're very efficient, but not funny. That's good. That's a good one. Hard says no fighting type turtle for the New York-based region was truly a crime. Good point. 3 out of 10. Um, yeah, I don't know. That would be funny. So I've been listening to or really watching K-pop recently. Um, ooh, switching it up to a tinkatonk. Um, and it's interesting to see how Korean pop culture puts forth American pop culture. Like obviously they're very influenced by American stuff. And like one of the things which I made a video about, if you've ever been to Lopez Family Variety Channel, you might have suddenly found yourself like accosted by a K-pop video because I'll make videos about whatever I'm interested in. And one of them was that like two separate. That's not a shiny, is it? No. Two separate pop groups made a reference to the Baz Luhrmann Romeo and Juliet, and I'm like, people here in the United States don't talk about this movie anymore. Like it's a footnote, right? It's like it happened, and you know people know about it, but what did it hit me with? Wow, I went down like a sack of potatoes. Sorry about that. Did it just hit me with like a really hard water attack? Oh, counter. That'll do it. Skippy says, I made sure to comment on the K-pop video. I hope it picks up traction and gets you K-pop fans. It's one of, like, I think it's kind of, yeah. It's one of my most watched videos. But not my most watched video. My most watched video is me complaining about Kalos Pokemon, which is interesting. So, I mean, I'm making Pokemon content now, so we'll see how it goes. Traditionally, interestingly, whenever I make Pokemon content, my Twitch views are down, but if I then take that stuff and put it on YouTube, my views will be up. So, alright, I'm gonna heal. Rah, rah, heal up. Alright, hopefully I can terrestrialize now. Nope, not yet. Should I use Heavy Slam instead? Does it calculate, like, weight differences? Well, Heavy Slam's pretty good. We're very close to not making it, but I think we're going to do it. Oh, nice. What? So, is that a shiny? I don't think it is. I'm going to catch it anyway. Oh, Death of Anubis got like locked out. Yeah. So, another thing that's different about these raids compared to the Sword and Shield raids is that they try to make turns sort of overlap to make everything seem faster and more frantic. But they basically still have the same engine. Putting this together. So what ends up happening a lot of the time is, yeah, turns happen like ba 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 ba, but then like the computer stops everything and basically sits there trying to resolve the stack of like commands that have been put in. So this is just a regular one, right? Tatsugiri comes in like 3 flavors. Yeah, it's not shiny. Tatsugiri comes in like 3 flavors, and also there's 3 separate shinies for it because of that. So, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so raids are trying to make everything seem more frantic, but a lot of the time they just get tripped up because of it. It's trying to do something different with the same engine. So there are times when like you just won't be able to do anything. Like there have been raids when I like everybody else goes twice before I get to take my first turn, right? It just keeps like taking like it shows me a menu and it takes it away, shows me a menu, takes it away. Never get to like actually click on something. Um, Skippy says, I'm really surprised the Agent Bear video isn't your most watched. It really should be. That video hits like a brick in a tube sock. I enjoy yeah, Debonair Bear was definitely a thing that happened to me. But yeah, it's like right now the things that are having the most. It's like YouTube actually seems to be doing a good job about discoverability. So when I make Pokemon content, it's showing it to people who watch Pokemon videos. Debonair Bear is an indie game, so it doesn't have a following. And I kind of don't have a following on YouTube. So someday Debonair Bear might go up once people know me there more, hopefully. Death of Anubis says 2 orange. Yeah, all of the Tatsugiri variants are actually very like brownish looking, I think, except for like the white one maybe. Harvester says, I've really come to like body press since learning it uses your defense stat instead of your attack. That's a good one. It's suddenly a lot more viable on non-physical mons and cannot be weakened by stuff like Intimidate that crimps your attack. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, with these ads arriving, I'm going to say goodnight. All right, Death of Anubis. Thank you so much. You've really made this a lot easier for me. I really appreciate it. I know you're not seeing this, but if you see it later or whatever, or just know that I am, I'm thanking you. I'll do it on the thanks. Thanks, Death of Anubis. Really appreciate it. They're probably gone, but... Alright. Your only move is Hustle, is the name I believe. It's on and pay what you want. What? Oh, you're talking about something else. Oh, Rodrigo, have you heard of the turn-based fighting game? Your only move is Hustle is the name. Okay. It's on. It didn't let you say this. And pay what you want. Okay. That sounds interesting. Okay. Well, let's take a break from raids. Let me see if I have anything, any like funny things I recorded to show you guys. Here's my diploma for catching them all. Oh, this is me catching a shiny Psyduck. So yeah, I run into a shiny Psyduck. What's this one about? Uh-huh. Oh, okay. I was just recording what terrestrialization looked like, because I'm going to try and do a video on it. So that was nothing. That was just me recording a Terra Pokemon transforming. Good times. Alright. Love the watercolor illustration for the certificate. Yeah, it's super cute. It's on itch.io. Okay, I forgot that's a real web address. Okay, so it clipped it. Let me... I guess that's fine. do. Yeah, the problem with getting up to answer the door is it throws off my... There we go. All right. Yeah, let's wind down. Talk about what's going on. Okay. So, what do we got going on? This is probably the last stream of the year. I heard my cat meowing. This is probably going to be the last stream of the year. We'll be back in January and just start up doing the same thing we're doing. Also, if you're watching videos on Lopez Family Variety channel, be aware that probably in this coming year, I've had a video come out every week this past year. But I'm looking at some of the videos that I made and I'm like, this is just kind of me reading through Sword and Shield's not super interesting plot a lot of the time, and I'm like, did that need to be a video that I spent time editing? Probably not. So what might happen is you might see fewer videos coming out, or a video not necessarily coming out every week, but hopefully all the videos that will come out will be interesting or funny, or me going on a rant, or my cat knocking off my glasses or something like that. I say as everything goes blurry. I'm over here, camera. So yeah, what else? We're done with we are done recording Drifters, right? So if you've been listening to Critical Hit, we just recorded the last session of Drifters, so that's coming to an end. If you haven't gotten into Drifters, right? If you just listened to the Void Saga and then you were like, okay, well, I don't need to listen to Critical Hit again, you are missing out. Like, Drifters has really shaped up to be a really interesting, really good game, and I'm pretty proud of Kevin and the way that we've done things. So if you haven't gotten a chance to listen to that, it's on the Critical Hit podcast, so just go to majorspoilers.com and look for our podcast, or in any podcast app, just look for Critical Hit, and it'll probably be the first thing that comes up, is the one with the big red die. So yeah, if you haven't been listening to Drifters, you're kind of missing out. I appreciate the loyalty to the Void Saga, but Drifters is also very good. Big rips in the chat for Harvard Street Boys, lost a real one. Skippy says, oh, any thoughts on Avatar coming back from the dead? You mean the Blue People movie? So I didn't love the first Avatar. Like, I went to see it and I was like, eh. But my wife really likes James Cameron's work. She loves Titanic. She liked the first Avatar. She likes all kinds of stuff that he's made. So we're going to go see it, definitely. I'm not going to get out of that one. And I hope that it's good. Some reviews have come in and they're kind of tepid. They're like, eh. But you're always going to get that here and there. So I'm hoping it, like, again, because I'm for sure going to go see it, I hope it's good. Skippy says having a backlog is important when you hit your stride with things you really want to work on. Yeah, and really that's what I was trying to do, right? Is like I wanted, like, someday, the channel is going to get that spike that's going to get more eyeballs on it. And I wanted there to already be content there when people find it. So that's the main thing that I was going for there. Harvester says, I'll be looking forward to the new YouTube direction. Great, thank you. Skippy says, Drifters is definitely a fun ride. Spunky young Rodrigo and Sam is a great dynamic. Yeah, I've had a lot of fun. It's very different from other characters that I've played on Critical Hit. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I will say this: you guys are listening to me talk right now, and you've been listening to me for this stream. Um, Hecubino is like a lot higher energy character in Drifters. So like and I usually record Drifters after streaming. So I'll stream, I'll eat something, I'll lay down for a bit, and then I'll go over there and I'm like, okay, I have to like just really increase my energy to be able to do Hecubino. So from here on out, only low energy characters because that's too hard. No, I just it's just something that I have to do. I have to be like, okay, well, I can't do Hecubino like this. Just be like, hey guys, it's me, co-captain Hecubino. Like I have to actually I have to get my voice up to a range where it makes sense, and then I have to keep it there. So it's sometimes it's tough. Harvey says, I will make a note to look into Drifters when I hit another stride of real play listening. It has been a while since I've had the right headspace. Yeah, totally. Obviously, don't make yourself listen to it. If you do that, then you're not going to like it. But yeah, if if you're already listening to real play podcasts, give Drifters a listen. Skippy says, I think Avatar gets a lot of the hate Marvel should be getting. Zoomers don't understand why it hit so hard and sold so well, but don't question how another random Avengers movie does. That's fair. Avatar was a big deal, but the lack of follow-up to it, I think, has really hurt it, right? It's like if another Avatar movie had just been like coming down the pipe immediately, it would still be a huge franchise, even if the movies are so-so, right? It's like Transformers movies are absolute garbage. They are just the worst. Like the first Transformers movie, when like they still kind of had a hold on Michael Bay and weren't just letting him do whatever he wanted, is okay, right? I enjoy that movie. But every other Transformer movie after that has been absolute garbaggio, and they still rake it in at the box office, right? So popularity doesn't have anything to do with quality. So what I'm saying is, if they had just followed up with an Avatar movie, even if it wasn't very good, it would have still made a lot of money and kept the franchise alive. So now it's tough. They're like, it's an uphill climb to be like, hey guys, remember this franchise like came out like 10 years ago? Here's another movie for it. And like, we don't remember any of these characters. I was like, we have to go and sit down and watch Avatar again to be reminded of who these people are. Hecubino is at a 16 where Rodrigo is at a 6.5. Yeah. Hecubino is like a lot of energy to play. I've had a lot of fun playing Hecubino, but I'm glad it's over. It's good times. Hardest says, I had really only been listening to one actual play podcast the last while, and even that has fallen by the wayside for me a lot since the semester started. Sure. Yeah, totally. Skippy says, yeah, Avatar was a 7 out of 10 and could have kept that going for a long time. I get 3 over the course of 30 years. I'd be happier than 5 Marvels a year. Yeah, Marvel has really flipped that over, right? It used to be that each Marvel movie was an event, and we are seeing this with Marvel. We're seeing this with Magic: The Gathering. Is like you can oversaturate, right? It's like you can just put so much stuff out that people get tired of it, and they're like, okay, well, since another new Marvel movie is going to come out later, I don't need to go see Shang-Chi, or I don't need to go see Thor: Love and Thunder. I'll just go online and figure out what I need to know from it so that I can watch the next, Disney Plus show or a Marvel movie or whatever, or nothing, or I'm never watching another one again. I'm tired, right? So, yeah, when a company just really steps up their production like that, where they're just coming out with thing after thing after thing after thing, it can get tiring, definitely. When you think about something like Disney, and it's like, well, Disney sometimes, like Disney used to put out a lot of stuff too, but all of that stuff was in like different sectors, right? So it's like their big kids princess movie, they'd have some sort of like live action thing with like Jonathan Taylor Thomas or whatever, and then they'd have like some other thing. All of those sort of exist in different places, right? The Marvel Cinematic Universe, like it's all the same thing. and it all feels like the same thing. Even if some movies are funnier and some movies are more serious, it all feels like the same thing. So you can get tired of it. Like I'm kind of tired of it. Um, I I'm interested in Ant-Man and the Wasp in Quantumania, just to see what they're setting up, and also because I like Ant-Man. I like Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. It's been good times. So, um, Skippy says, "Yeah, I remember being young and asking for more of these things, and now I hate my prophetic visions." Sure. Harvester says, I like that Michelle Rodriguez was an Avatar. Most other things about it have gotten pretty stale and meh for me. I felt way overblown in retrospect. Weirdly, one thing that feels kind of fun and fresh is the new D&D movie that's coming out, also starring Michelle Rodriguez, so I'm looking forward to it. Skippy says, I've quit Marvels for good. Willow and Indiana Jones are also looking real tired, just by association with the other Disney farm properties. I'm worried about the Willow series. I've been meaning to sit down and watch it, but haven't, partially for that reason. Skippy says, shockingly, the D&D movie is looking like the most fun movie coming out anytime soon. Yeah, totally, right? It's surprising, amazing that, yeah, the most fun movie coming down the pipe appears to be the D&D movie. Deja Vu says, not a big Marvel fan, but really enjoyed the latest Doctor Strange. Felt unique. Yeah, I had fun. A lot of people bash the what is called like the fourth wave of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I like it just fine. Like what I like is not those like huge stakes and huge stress and like big like everything's building to something. Like I care about that a lot less than like actually letting a character like stretch out. That's why I liked Werewolf by Night as much as I did, is because like it had like zero connection to the rest of the Marvel universe, right? Like it does. It's still connected. You can see that it's under there, but things that happen in other Marvel stuff don't really matter for Werewolf by Night, and also things that happen in Werewolf by Night don't really matter to other Marvel stuff yet, right? So it just like it was nice to find this like fresh little like glen of just like nothing matters and nothing affects it, and just get to see a story in there. So that's also kind of why I like, Multiverse of Madness, and kind of why I like Thor Ragnarok, is because they are like weirdly disconnected stories. Although, Multiverse of Madness follows up on WandaVision, but I liked WandaVision, so there you go. It's interesting. It's weird. Harvey says the main thing I'm less intrigued about with the D&D movie is that it doesn't have the meta narrative of the players above the game. You're less intrigued by it. Like I'm glad that it doesn't. Like I think that could be played very poorly. I'm glad that it just seems to be like a straight up adventure film. Harvey says the main thing I'm less intrigued about with the no, I just read that. Skippy says, I think the movie's only overblown because Marvel and DC and The Hobbit and made fully CGI movies just boring and tired. Avatar was the movie that started those trends and made a lot of the tech. It's like Jurassic Park. Yeah. It's funny because nobody watched Alita Battle Angel, and I actually like that movie. I think it's good. And I've watched the like behind the scenes stuff, and like a lot of the skin textures and stuff that you're gonna see in The Way of Water definitely wouldn't be there without Alita Battle Angel. Like James Cameron used it as an opportunity to just like really perfect realistic skin, basically with all the like layers and translucency. So it's gonna get people aren't going to be commenting on it because what they're going to be commenting on is how good the water looks. So, obviously there's that too. Harvester says, I would have enjoyed seeing stuff like Chris Pine arguing with a wall and trying to run up it before cutting back to the real life group and other shenanigans that can reflect genuine play. I get that. I totally get that, but you know what movie did that pretty well already? Jumanji. The first one is better. The first, like Jack Black, The Rock Jumanji, that was pretty good, and it kind of did that already. And yeah, but the thing is that showing legit tabletop play is very difficult without making it gimmicky. So I think it would be tough to do that. Skippy says you actually want the frame story of a D&D game. I'd never consider they'd add that. Yeah, that's not where they're at, right? It's like someday they might, but they don't want that now, right? They want to show you, hey, look how fun D&D is. You know that critical role stuff? Huh? You want to do that? Here's a movie. You want to do this? That's what they're trying to get people to do. Yes, keep playing music. Thank you. Um, a frame story like that would really slow down the pace of the film because they'd also have to dedicate time in the movie to giving that an emotional payoff as well. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? It's like the D&D episode of Community works because we already know those characters, and the Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle thing works because they don't have to be in character, right? The way they line things up is like the characters can just speak like themselves. Development for the characters in the video game is development for the characters outside the video game. Harvester says like making a full-blown fantasy action film should work, though I think it could be more fun if they reflected some of the aspect of real-life people running a game to set the wild action against and play up for comedy in a not awful way. Yeah, it strikes that they want to supply a movie for people to point to when describing what D&D is like that is not Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It was just curious if I wanted to keep listening to music. It's not gonna play more music. All right. Well, this has been a good stream. Let's just go ahead and wrap it up here. I want to thank you guys for hanging out, for playing Pokemon with me. Thank you to everyone that joined the raids. Again, big thanks to Death of Anubis and Evercaptor for for helping me host raids. That was really helpful. Yeah, we'll wrap it up here. Thank you so much for checking out the stream. Again, make sure if you're on Twitter, and Twitter still exists, go to @FearsomeCritter, and you can see me talking about all kinds of stuff there. And you can just add me and talk to me about stuff there. I'll usually respond. Make sure to watch Lopez Family Variety Channel. That's the YouTube channel. There's a lot of stuff that's already happened. So if you're new to the streams and you're like, "What's this like?" First off, most of the streams are archived there. So if you just want to sit down and watch and put on some like long streams while you work or whatever, they're all there. They're all in a playlist. Just hit play. And lastly, right now you're watching twitch.tv/elpikachon. I really want to thank you guys for jumping in here and hanging out. And I will catch you guys later once I find my stream ending slate. Here we go. Good night.